Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Morning Musings. This is video number 32 in our study of 1 Corinthians chapter 15. My name is Don K. Preston, and I am the president of Preterist Research Institute. We have been focusing on Paul's statement that Jesus was the first fruit out from among those who slept, those who had died before him. Luke tells us, in his record of a speech by Paul, Acts 26, 21 and following, Paul said Christ was the first to be raised from the dead. Now, from a purely physical perspective, that is absolutely false. Lots of people had been raised from the dead prior to Jesus. So the question is, what did Paul mean when he said Christ was the first to be raised from the dead? Well, we've been told, we are constantly told, that what Paul really meant was that Jesus was the first person to be raised, never to die again. Well, unfortunately, that's not what the text says. And go back and look at our video in which we compare with Romans chapter 6 to show that the Bible nowhere affirms that Christ was the first person to ever be raised in a glorified immortal body. It is reading into the text to affirm that. So here's what we have. We have those who are affirming that Jesus' resurrected pre-ascension body was his glorified, transformed, immortal body, for which there is not one syllable of proof. I was stunned the other day as I read, or as I listened to a video produced by a former preterist seeking to refute covenant eschatology now. And he wrote this, and he said, there is not a single verse that explicitly says Jesus' resurrected body, pre-ascension, was unchanged. Well, guess what? What a horrible hermeneutic. There is likewise not a single verse that explicitly says his resurrected body, pre-ascension, was his transformed immortal body. There is no verse. So here is someone attempting to refute covenant eschatology by making an absolutely horrible hermeneutical argument. Now, very quickly here, we are told, once again, Jesus' post-resurrection, pre-ascension body is the body in which we will be raised, same nature, physical, just transformed, glorified, immortal. It is, in fact, we are told, the identical body that he now possesses in the heavenly realm. In other words, Jesus is supposed to be sitting at the right hand of the Father right now in a physical body of a 5'5" Jewish man. And that's the body that he will be coming back with at the end of human history. Folks, that is so full of error. It is so full of assumption, and it completely and totally ignores the evidence. Now watch this. Peter said in 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 16 and following, that he and the apostles saw a vision of Jesus' second coming, if you want to use that terminology. They saw his powerful parousia on the Mount of Transfiguration. Now, do you see a train coming? Peter said that the Transfiguration was a vision of Jesus' powerful parousia. Okay, what was the Transfiguration? Well, you have Jesus ascending the mountain in his physical 5'5" Jewish man body. There, amazingly, stunningly, he was transformed. You want to talk about the transformation of the body of Christ? Well, here it is, only it's not after his resurrection, but it is a vision, that's what Matthew calls it, of his powerful parousia, the end of the age parousia. Oh, but wait. The Transfiguration vision is a vision in which Jesus' face shined like the sun. His clothes shined whiter than any fuller's soap, any launderer's soap could possibly get them. Folks, is that even remotely resembling his post-resurrection, pre-ascension body? All you have to do is compare what Jesus' transfiguration body looked like and contrast it and compare it with what his resurrected body looked like to know those are not the same. Since his transfigured body, transfigured appearance was radically different from his resurrected pre-ascension body, then it must not be true that his resurrected pre-ascension body was his transformed, immortal, incorruptible body. You see, folks, the closest that we have to an explicit statement that Jesus' post-resurrection, pre-ascension body was not transformed is the fact that prior to his resurrection, he was transfigured into a vision of his parousia, and that parousia vision did not in any way whatsoever resemble his post-resurrection, pre-ascension body. No similarity. If you want more on the study of the Transfiguration and Jesus' parousia, Jesus' resurrected body of glory, you need to get a copy of my book, Like Father, Like Son, on Clouds of Glory. I have an extensive discussion of the Transfiguration. And by the way, do you realize that when we look at the Transfiguration and compare it with 1 Corinthians 15, that it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the resurrection of 1 Corinthians 15 occurred in AD 70? Yes, we'll have something on that in a later video. You won't want to miss that. In the meantime, get a copy of my book, Like Father, Like Son, on Clouds of Glory. Go to my website, donkpreston.com, bibleprophecy.com, order the book. Send me a note that says you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping. In the meantime, thanks so much for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings, and we'll see you on the flip side.